The day the sky fell to the sea. Wednesday, June 7, 1692. It was a typical, suffocatingly hot Caribbean morning. The harbor was full, loaded with trade ships and naval vessels. The taverns were already doing a brisk business. At 11:43 a.m., the first shock hit. It was a violent, sustained jolt that lasted for several minutes, a terrifying anomaly. In the space of those few minutes, Port Royal was not merely shaken, it was subject to a process known as liquefaction. The violent shaking of the earth caused the water-saturated sand beneath the city to temporarily lose its strength and behave like a liquid slurry. Multi-story stone and brick buildings, the grand symbols of Port Royal's wealth, simply began to sink, whole and upright, into the earth. Eyewitness account, Theodore Folks. The earth opened and shut, and the houses and people sunk down into it. The water gushed out of the earth in every corner of the town. The harbor swallowed. The grand wharves and quays, laden with goods, men, and ships, slid horizontally into the sea. Eyewitnesses reported seeing entire streets and rows of buildings disappear as if a great invisible hand had swept them off the sandbar. Ships in the harbor were tossed about violently, some capsizing, others pulled down into the whirlpools created by the collapsing city. The tsunami's grasp. The collapsing mass of the city displaced a monumental volume of water, generating a series of massive tsunamis. These waves swept back over the already sinking town, dragging thousands of survivors and debris out to sea. The graveyard of ships. In the harbor, the English frigate Swallow was lifted by the first wave and deposited high onto the shore, while dozens of smaller vessels vanished, pulled down by the sinking landmass beneath them. Under 3 minutes, 2/3 of Port Royal was gone, now resting on the seafloor up to 60 feet below the surface. Over 5,000 people were killed instantly or drowned in the terrifying, chaotic aftermath. The irony was immediate and profound. Thousands of buccaneers who had spent their lives risking death for Spanish gold were killed by a natural disaster while enjoying their ill-gotten gains in safety. The survivors were left on the splintered, remaining third of the sandspit, surrounded by floating bodies and a grotesque debris field. The shock was so complete that for weeks, survivors walked among the ruins, unable to comprehend the divine, total destruction of their seemingly invincible city. The archaeology of vice.